Bitcoin and crypto prices are back up today, and they're still going to the upside. And in today's show, we're going to talk about the big 3 reasons why that is happening. Also, Chainlink and ONDO. Have we ever talked about them on this channel? It turns out, yes, we talk about them all the time. They are popping off right now, and we're going to talk about why that is. So if you're excited about today's show, if you've invested and your portfolio is looking green today, smash that like button, hit subscribe. But first, we got to roll an intro. All right, everybody, welcome into the Investing Bros live show. It's 3 p.m. We got another good one lined up for you today. How about them markets? How about them green bubbles? People making some money. I'm joined by two very cool people here down beneath me. One of them cooler than the other. You guys in the comments tell me which one I'm talking about. Smay, how are you doing today? I like the glasses. I like the Tom Crown kind of vibes going on down there.
It's only Smay vibes. Don't compare me.
Okay.
And I'm doing great. Not that I have anything. I love Tom. Anyways, these are Smay vibes. Back to you.
There we go. I always love to watch Tom and see if I can do the charting analysis in his reflection of his glasses rather than looking at the screen. That's the real challenge when watching Tom Crown. We're also joined by my golf partner from this morning, Mr. T. Shroom. Shroom, how are we doing today?
Better than I deserve, Tim. Beat you on a couple of holes. I think you beat me overall. And
yeah,
we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. Broz,
it was very wet, but it was good.
That's right. It's my last day playing golf. No, it's my last day on the stream this week, this weekend starting tomorrow. I will be away. I'll be down in Florida celebrating one of my best friends' dear birthdays. So love you guys, but I got to go play some golf and go see Shane Gillis live in the Tampa arena. It's going to be a lot of fun. So just savor T-Shroom being on the show while you can.
I know that's going to be a very miserable weekend for you, T-Shroom. I know it's just work through the pain, do what you have to do, get back to us safely on Monday. That should be a very fun weekend. Lots to talk about on the show today. I'm just very excited about how the markets are moving, how things are going. Yesterday, we had a live trade on the show. We had to make an edit into our VIP trading group. If you waited for the actual entry we put on the show, we didn't quite get there. But due to some moving parts, we were able to re-edit a new entry. And if anyone entered there, perfect trade setup happened yesterday. Today, same thing. If you guys get us to 500 likes by the 30-minute mark, maybe we'll have time for a live trade later on. But we will have something else happening at the end of the show you absolutely want to stick around for. Crypto is great. Crypto's pumping right now. But some of you out there are realizing that you are a little over-leveraged in your crypto investments. And we have a new sponsor today that we're going to be rolling out that's a great option to diversify for safer return on investment. T-Shroom, really quickly, can you tell us a little bit more about this company?
Yeah, absolutely. Limits Express is a Walmart and Amazon automation company. They help you set up your Amazon or Walmart store online, and then from there they handle all of it. They do all the work for you and send the money and the profits and the proceeds directly back into your bank account. It's super awesome, and we're glad to partner with them.
Very cool. Yeah, we're going to have an interview later in the show with the president of the company, so you definitely want to stick around for there. It's not like any old sponsor. This is going to be a really good one. Quick super chat from Davy Cake says, you guys golf? Davy Cakes, we talk about this almost every single day at this point. This is the year of golf for the bros. He said, if you were anywhere near Wilmington, Delaware, I think that is, please be my guest for 18. Bottom in, 140K in May, 240 in September. You guys rock. Davey Cakes, I love it. I love the daily super chats. Yeah, if we make it up there to Delaware, I would love. I mean, it is my new hobby at this point. If I'm not doing the charts, if I'm not talking crypto, if I'm not in a private stream, I'm hanging out with my wife and my son, right? So that's going to be coming first. But I'm probably trying to find some way to improve my golf game. I've now gone I've gone twice now under 100. I want to get to a consistent under 100 playing, and then by the end of the year, I want at least one game under or around 80. So I'll have to maybe make a trip up there to Delaware to play with Davy Cakes.
Don't get
that being
started
said,
about golf.
Yeah, we're going to get in here to crypto in a second. I wanted to say my favorite chat of the day so far. This is the one all of you have to beat if you want to win the award of favorite chat. That guy says Smay looks like a Make-A-Wish kid at his first baseball game.
That's pretty good. Very funny. Very
I
humorous.
like baseball. All right.
Speaking of kind of Make-A-Wish, shout out to DJ. I can't remember his last name, but DJ from the meeting last night from the congressional hearing. He was the rock star of the show. No matter what you think about Trump or anybody else, whether you're Republican or Democrat, we can all agree DJ was the star of the night. Shout out to Smay and DJ in the same sentence. All right, let's get in here. Let's talk crypto, guys. Green bubbles galore. Go ahead and share my screen here, Smay. It's a great day to look at crypto charts. A couple red ones in there like TIA, HEX, IP. In fact, actually, now that you're looking at it, there's a handful of red ones. But they're so overwhelmed by the massive green ones. And guess what, two are standing out? No offense to Bitcoin Cash, to Arbitrum over here, to Aptos, but ONDO and Chainlink, two coins very dear to our hearts here at the Investing Bros. These ones are standing out for me as the big ones of the day. We're going to talk about why that is here in just a little bit. But before we move into the charts, some things that are going to keep us bullish. We're going to talk about three big things. Oh, heck, we didn't do the news yet. All right, we'll do this in a second. Three big stories are why crypto is up today. This isn't one of them, but it's absolutely boosting a part of why we're so bullish. We still, last night at 7 p.m., we're sitting in extreme fear. Yes, we were slightly up from 16 yesterday. We're at 20 right now. My guess, tonight at 7 p.m., unless the Bitcoin markets just drop, we're probably going to be back up closer to 30. So don't freak out about that just yet. You don't really need to worry until we get back into the green section. But staying in extreme fear, despite the fact that right now we're wrestling with 90K once again, that's a very good sign for the markets. But before we go on the charts, I apologize profusely because we never got our minute-long rundown of the news with T-Shroom. T-Shroom, I apologize to you. I apologize to the people. What do you have for us? Take it away.
Hey, Tim, that's all right, my man. We did get a comment in the chat. Said Southern Star Resources said, love you guys, but y'all look like the freaking Soggy Bottom Boys. That is a reference to the
what is the Soggy Bottom Boys?
Oh, brother, where art thou? Go to my screen, Smay. I've got them pulled up right here.
Oh,
good. The movie Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Yeah. All right, let's get into the news. We're having a lot of fun here today. Too much fun because now let's dumb it down. Going back to the tariffs. They're not going away here, but we do have some positive news on the horizon. Trump may roll back Canada and Mexico tariffs as soon as tomorrow. Who's saying that, though? Well, it's the U.S. Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick. If anybody would know, with that inside intel, it would be Howard. CME FedWatch now predicting an 80% probability of Fed cutting rates by June. We told you guys about it as soon as we started. Stephen caught a whiff of it, and now it's almost becoming a certainty. Senator Ted Cruz getting all amped up, and he has released a statement on the Senate passing his CRA to rescind the IRS DeFi broker rule. Does get a little bit in the weeds, but we'll get into that a little bit later. That's bullish for crypto for sure. The ISM non-manufacturing PMI came in mixed, showing job growth, but a potential inflation uptick. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick was very busy today. He said this: a Bitcoin strategic reserve is something the president is interested in. He spoke about it all during the campaign trail, and I think you're going to see it executed on Friday. What's Friday? We'll talk about it in a little bit. It's the first crypto summit. And finally here, pretty clear, Fed is going to lower rates, says the former United States Secretary of the Treasury, Steve Mnuchin. Let me know in the chat. Do you guys remember Steve Mnuchin? He had a couple of memorable moments. Arbitrum has been added over on Robinhood. It's a great moment for the layer 2. Tim, that's going to be the news. We're going to get into some more news on ONDO as well as some news on Chainlink, and we're going to go a little bit deeper into that big meeting coming Friday, the crypto summit, and what could potentially we learn new as a crypto market. What's going to happen there? So very exciting.
Yeah.
A lot of bullish news.
Well, and that's what we're going to, before we get into the charts here, let's make sure we're very clear. The title of this stream is the 3 big things causing the crypto pump today, right? We're going to talk about Chainlink and ONDO by themselves here in just a couple of minutes. But T-Shroom covered the 3 of them. The 3 of them all are potentially very big, but also can swing back and forth what this momentum looks like. But they are the three reasons why we are rallying today. Number one, the tariff talk. The tariffs, of course, every time he rolls out new tariffs, markets, including crypto and the stock market, pull back. Whenever it seems like the tariffs are going to be lightened up, whenever Trump talks about potentially removing them or delaying them again, the markets pump back to the upside. That's reason number one we're pumping today. Number two, even though we saw that amazing pump on Sunday morning when Donald Trump went to Truth Social and posted that we would have a crypto strategic reserve. He listed first XRP, Solana, and Cardano. Of course, hours later, backed it up and said, well, Bitcoin and Ethereum are in there. I didn't think I had to include those. That was a major reason. Well, guess what? Now we're feeling that fire once again. As T-Shroom said, Lutnick saying that is going to be a big part of what we talk about on Friday night at the White House. That's reason number two. And then the reason number three, we told you guys before, we need quantitative easing and we need regulatory clarity. The strategic reserve, that gives us some more leeway on the kind of thought process of where regulation's going. Quantitative easing, getting those interest rates to come back down. That's going to be reason number three. We're looking right now at the markets being bullish. If you're wondering what we're talking about here, share my screen before we go to the charts. FedWatch tool. You guys could go to cmegroup.com and look up this FedWatch tool. This will give you a month-by-month prediction of the likelihood of where interest rates will be. So if you look at March, there's going to be a March 19th FOMC meeting. Currently, we are already at 425 to 450. It's saying there's a 93% chance we're going to stay there, right? So we're not talking about a cut in March. We're talking about a pause in March. There's a 7% chance that maybe they change their mind. We still have a little bit, we have like 2 weeks until then, but realistically, that's probably not happening. When you move to May 7th, now you're starting to see a little more leeway. 61% still saying we stay paused, but that, of course, means we're looking at roughly a 39% chance of getting a cut. It's June, however, that is making a splash here today. You can't see it right behind me, but only this is slightly up. 21% right here is saying we stay paused, but 52% says 25 basis point cut, 24% say 50 basis point cut, and 1.5% saying 75 basis point cut. What that means is roughly an 80% probability right now, according to the CME FedWatch tool, that we will see a 25 basis point cut by June. So this is also going to have big meanings for Bitcoin and crypto. And you might say, well, Tim, that means I saw someone comment this earlier when I posted on X. They said, Tim, that means we're going to drop until then, right? No. Where have we been here, everybody, with how markets move on news? We are in a buy the rumor, sell the news, or sell the rumor, buy the news event all over the place. We're not going to have to wait until June to get a rally. We have to wait until Jerome Powell kind of backs that sentiment up, until we get more clarification or a higher likelihood. Then we will rally early, more than likely, by the FOMC meeting in June. We might be at new all-time highs. In fact, I think we probably will be at new all-time highs on Bitcoin and a lot of crypto prices. We'll probably have a small pullback as a sell-off of selling the event starts to happen. So in case you're wondering, does this mean we have to wait till June to get a rally? No, it does not. We rally early. Whenever the news actually happens, that's usually when you have a little bit of a sell-off. That goes for this Friday as well, by the way, everybody. Don't be surprised if we actually sustain some form of a rally here on the markets, and then on Friday have a little bit of a sell-off. These things seem to just happen like clockwork. You get some really bullish piece of news. Everyone gets super excited about it. We rally up into it. Then the retail investors, the weak hands, the new guys, they come in, they buy the event, and they become exit liquidity, and then the markets cool back off. And those people think they're the dumbest people since I'm not going to name anyone there specifically, but they think they're dumb. And then the markets move back to the upside, but it was too late because they already exited the market. That's what kind of happens here with these buy the rumor, sell the news events. When we're looking at Bitcoin, though, specifically, we told you yesterday, we actually put in a trade yesterday. If you were here on the show, you didn't quite get it entered. Want to know why? Because we kind of put that entry down here towards 86.2, I think is what it is. But we updated it when the smart trail raised up here. We updated to 86,370, give or take. Well, guess what? Almost pretty much by the skin of our teeth, we got entered into that trade. That trade took us up above 90K. If you guys were in on that trade, congratulations. Again, maybe we'll have one today if we get to 500 likes, although we do have an interview coming later what is next here for Bitcoin? Something massive is happening right now. We were in our VIP trading group discussing a short potential earlier. We tried to enter one, got liquidated, but the good news is we put a very tight stop loss. But something massive is happening on a large time frame right now that should not be ignored. And shout out to Lux Algo for bringing this to our attention. You guys know my favorite trading strategy is coming in and looking at the Lux Algo oscillator. And there's three things I'm looking for if I'm looking for a long signal. Right? I just put a video about this out last week or on Sunday. So maybe you'll find that and show you guys later. But if you're interested in this style, I need to see a green reversal, right? In this case, I got a triangle. The triangle is actually the stronger reversal indicator than the dot, but I like both of them. I just want to see one. After that, I like to see a green momentum on what's called the hyperwave or the oscillator, this line that keeps going up and down, telling us the overall strength or exhaustion of the market on that time frame. But what I always need to see before I can enter is positive money flow. And if we're in the red and we're below this thin red line, I need to see the money flow get back above that threshold. Well, today, if the prices hold at or close to the levels we're at right now, again, we're trading around $90,000 as we're speaking, that will confirm a buy signal. Now, traditionally, whenever I see just a reversal, bullish momentum, and positive money flow, my first idea is just, hey, let's take a look at the smart trail, right? Let's take a look at the smart trail. We're coming in here between 93,400, and at the high end, we're looking closer towards 96, right in line with that falling red resistance level. That would be where I normally say, let's watch that. Let's see what happens there. But when you get this fourth signal from the Lux Algo oscillator, things get a little bit more potent. And that is this thin or this light red level right here, or pink level, whatever you want to call it there. This excessive sellers that came into the space pushing us down for the last couple of days, they are now gone. That's going to give us that extra juice. The comparison I like to make here is, imagine when you have a basketball in a pool and you push that basketball underwater, right? As long as your hands are on top, that ball stays underwater. But what happens when you release that ball? Does it just pop back up to the surface? Heck no. It shoots into the sky. And so now as we're seeing a buy signal come in on the daily chart, we are watching this potentially be the catalyst to send us up above this smart trail, in which case, on the high end, I'm looking back up here into the blue resistance zone at that red resistance cloud around $108,000. I think realistically, there's going to be two different levels. If we break through 96,000, we get through this red mark right here, you're going to have to contend here back around $100,000, back to these highs here, and then we have another order block coming in around 105. Either way, this is major news for Bitcoin bulls as it continues to kind of back up that idea that we've talked about here on the show, that this big move we had back here, in fact, let's go back to the daily chart because I like the way the daily candles convey this. These two massive lower wicks matched with high volume days look very much like the bottom signal. We filled the majority of the CME gap from way back in November. We filled the other CME gap we just created this weekend. Bitcoin has everything it needs now to move back to the upside. We have the news in our favor. We have the charts in our favor. And yes, there's a lot of people out there still pessimistic. You know what? I love the contrarian take. I'm loving what I'm seeing on these charts. I am a bull for the foreseeable future. The question becomes, can we break through 90K or do we make a rejection once again? On lower time frames, you are going to see, this is the last thing I'm going to tell you about Bitcoin, then we want to take a look at ONDO and SUI. On the 15-minute chart, for example, we are wrestling with the resistance of the 15-minute smart trail. Now, what I love about this, if I can click this back up, what I love about what I'm seeing on the oscillators as we're wrestling with resistance, we are sitting pretty darn neutral. We could be rejected and pull back down, back towards 87.6, give or take. I think there's going to be some order block. There's definitely equilibrium here at 88.5. There's an order block down to 87,000. Those are technically still on the table. But with us being in this more neutral position, again, seeing those longer time frames like the 4-hour, like the daily, all still looking to keep moving to the upside, I like our chances of breaking above 90K. Then the question will be, what happens at 95, 96,000? That's my next spot to say, can the bulls make that final push, get back up above there, start breaking to new highs once again for the first time since January 20th? All of a sudden, new all-time highs become a conversation. We're talking about days away rather than weeks or months. But let's make sure we're clear here. go off my screen here for a second, Smay. All of this is still very contingent on some things that we're talking about that are bullish today. What happens with these tariffs? Do we keep playing this on again, off again thing with tariffs? That's going to have a relationship with the price action. What ends up happening with the announcement of the Bitcoin reserve? We all love that Trump wants a Bitcoin reserve. How likely is it that we can get Congress to pass this? We don't need Congress to pass this next week or a month from now. As long as we have an understanding this is something that can be done in the year 2025, this remains bullish. But if we start to see some wrestling from Congress, and we start to get an idea that Congress just can't get the vote, all of a sudden that hopium is gone. And then the last one, the quantitative easing. Right now it's looking like June is a very good time to cut rates. Does something come in changing that? I don't think it will. We're watching unemployment continue to be a problem. Inflation is not the biggest problem in the world. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on Jerome Powell and the Fed to cut rates. But if something comes up, inflation skyrockets, unemployment all of a sudden seems to be getting fixed, all three of these great pieces of news that could promote and pump us to brand new all-time highs could flip-flop on us, and the prices stay suppressed. So this is why you got to stay locked in to the show every single day. You want to see what the charts are doing. Make sure you're up to date. You want to watch out for the news, both on the economic front and specific crypto front, to make sure nothing is changing up on you so you know what to do with your money at all times. That being said, there are two coins right now that are doing phenomenal jobs. And I start off, again, people accuse me of being a Chainlink maxi. I'm not a Chainlink maxi, but it is my favorite cryptocurrency right now in this bull market, save for Bitcoin, because long-term, it's all about stacking Satoshis. But in terms of how much money I can make, I have been raving about Chainlink now for years. And there's been moments where I look brilliant, and there's moments that I look like a complete fool. You guys let me know about it every single time that Chainlink doesn't do anything special. Well, today it's up over 10%. It's moving massively, and it's on the heels of some very, very good news. For more on that, before we get in the charts, T-shirt, what's going on with Chainlink right now?
Yeah, well, our Chainlink news actually coincides with our Friday news. I'll just jump to the Chainlink news really quick, which is that the list of the people who are going to be, or that are confirmed to be at the White House Crypto Summit on Friday. You guys are going to get a little bit of a sneak peek here, but the one that matters is here. Sergey Nazarov, co-founder of Chainlink, Tim. He's going to be at the Crypto Summit, rubbing shoulders with like Michael Saylor, obviously President Donald Trump, and the crypto czar, David Sachs. So very bullish for the coin.
Yeah, and this is something, again, while I've remained bullish on Chainlink, it's going to take a lot to get me not bullish on Chainlink. I'm not going to lie to you. When I saw all the other names working with the White House and working with the future of what regulation looks like in the United States, I mean, heck, one of the biggest reasons Cardano has just flashed up and been amazing recently is because of the work that Charles Hoskinson has been doing on the ground, meeting with people in Washington, getting his foot in the doors, and making sure he's paving the way for Cardano to be a part of the future of what the U.S. does. Chainlink hadn't been doing any of this. And I saw that list last week of all the people that have either met with Trump or going to meet with Trump, and no one from Chainlink was on it. I'm sitting here saying this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Chainlink, to me, is the most likely of if we're talking about coins outside those top five that got mentioned by Donald Trump already being in the strategic reserve, Chainlink has got to be the next one up. Well, when I saw this news, when I saw that finally they're going to be sending someone to the White House to be a part of it, all of my worry was relieved. And then sure enough, going back to my chart, you guys can see here on this news, Chainlink is bouncing back up. You go to my screen here, Smay, if you haven't already. There we go. All right, there we go. Very good news here for Chainlink fam. Now, we're not out of the woods just yet, right? This is great news. I love Chainlink being up 10% today. We had a very nice three bounce here on the 1 hour chart off of a longer term support level of a falling channel, right? A very bullish formation. I talked about this a lot. What I love seeing, though, then the reason why you should treat this as the bottom being in, take a look at how our oscillators acted during this whole movement. And the biggest one you're going to look at here is the RSI. Now, clearly, we kept setting lower lows in price action here between February 25th and the bottom of this movement back yesterday on the 4th, right? Chainlink dropped all the way back down below $14. People are freaking out. Well, during those lower lows being put in, guess what was happening on the RSI, right? This is the one that people most like to look at for divergence calls. And sure enough, we are putting in higher lows the entire time. This is a major bottom signal coming in on the 1 hour chart. Now, that doesn't give us a forever upward. This isn't telling us, this divergence level isn't saying, oh, watch out for this, guys. This is the definite source at the bottom of this pullback is in, new all-time highs are next, but it's what we want to start seeing as we move to the upside. The same thing was happening on the 4 hour chart, right? So we're moving larger time frames, higher lows on the 4 hour chart, lower lows on the daily on that chart with the price action. We didn't quite get that strong bullish divergence on the more recent time for Chainlink, but if you take a look here at the RSI and you're comparing the price action lows from way back here, for example, back on November 5th, clearly right now we have put in a higher low as well. And then that same timeline, take a look what the RSI is doing. It's putting in a lower low. Now, this is a little bit different than the divergence we looked at before, right? Some of you might be saying, Tim, wait, I thought that divergence was when the price action goes lower and the RSI bottoms go higher. Well, this is what we called continuation divergence. This means, I love seeing this, guys. This means that we are in a bull trend. We are making moves to the upside. Seeing this continuation bullish divergence means this bullish trend, the higher highs, higher lows, they are still in play. Guess what that means? Next move, next major macro move for Chainlink, higher highs coming in. That means we at least get back up here above $30.62. However, if you want to take a look, didn't mean to mark there. If you want to take a look at this falling channel that we're in, what this would suggest long-term, if we get a bullish breakout here in the next couple of days, if not weeks, the target we're kind of going to be watching up here around $35. This, of course, is all short-term analysis. Some of you are going to be wondering, Tim, are you holding on to those long-term price predictions like $200, $300, $400, $700? Yes, all of this is right on track. And guess what? As much as today we're pumping because of the news that we're going to be seeing an official from Chainlink in the White House on Friday night, wait until they announce that Chainlink is another coin being considered to be added to the U.S. Strategic Reserve. Wait until we get more clarity about how institutions can invest into the crypto space. Chainlink is going to be one of the top movers once that announcement has been said. Don't rule it out just because it hasn't had the most explosive chart since this whole process. The mere fact that we're setting higher highs and higher lows on the macro keeps us bullish. But when you study the fundamentals of what these cryptocurrencies do, it is very hard. I'm not saying none of you could do it. It's very hard to be pessimistic about the future of Chainlink and not believe it's about to do something very, very special. But guess what? Chainlink isn't even the top mover of the day when you're looking at the higher, more respectable, institutionally friendly coins. The other coin that I said on Sunday is most likely up to be added to that list of the Crypto Strategic Reserve. ONDO Finance is up 17.7%, almost 18% today. It is flying back up here, back above $1.13. What is happening with ONDO? This one's a little harder. I was scouring the internet for this news, and I couldn't find anything. T-Shroom, what's going on with ONDO? Why is it popping off today?
Yeah, well, earlier this week, we reported that former Congressman Patrick McHenry was going to be working. He's going to be the vice chairman of the board over at ONDO. Yeah. So, that could be the news that it's finally getting priced in, that news was that's going to be true. But there's also this post just from a couple hours ago from ONDO Finance. Kind of buried in the fourth part of this post here is something that's pretty key. And our Investing Bros research team, we couldn't recall, I should say, when they released this information before. So this could be breaking, but kind of like low-key breaking news. We're not sure. So let us know in the chat. Let us know in the comments. Have you heard of this before? So the announcement is that they have these initiatives which will accelerate their mission, unlocking global access by bringing U.S. financial markets on chain, starting, and this part's the key, starting with the $90 trillion U.S. treasuries, which we already knew about, but this is the last part, and U.S. equities market. Is this the first time that they've announced this? We're not really sure. We obviously know that they do the U.S. treasuries, but bringing on U.S. equities, that's essentially a gigantic blow across the ship of the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ saying, hey, y'all are cool with your little physical infrastructure. We're taking everything on chain. So that could be very, very big. And that's why I would think could also be the Patrick McHenry news though, from earlier this week, that ONDO is absolutely pumping right now.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look here, do some fact checking on this one, Shroom. I see a couple comments in chat saying that BlackRock is buying ONDO. You would think that that'd be one of the things that pop up when you go look for what's the ONDO news today. It didn't come up on my radar, but maybe that's it. And again, that would make a lot of sense. That if BlackRock is buying, that's a big reason to go to the upside. Let's go back and check out the charts here. I forgot to look at this on Chainlink, so I'll be very brief with Chainlink, Smay, back on the charts. Just like I talked about on Bitcoin, both Chainlink and ONDO, let's look at Chainlink first, are getting that buy signal. So as long as today closes, right, we have about 3.5 more hours on today's daily candle. Green reversal, bullish momentum, positive money flow up there above the threshold. There was a little bit of excessive sellers that left, not as much as Bitcoin, but that's still a very good sign for Chainlink. Guess what that means in terms of price action? We should see Chainlink making its way back up towards $20 at the least. After that, you start to ask the question, can it pop on through? And then you have some resistance at 22, some resistance at 25, and then, of course, resistance back up there at 30, those highs we had back in December. Same thing going on here for ONDO, right? We'll start with that one here as well. Green reversal, bullish momentum. Now, it's not the same level. It is slightly positive money flow. It is above that threshold. I would feel better to see this maybe one more day of bullishness and have confirmed positive money flow. I don't like that slope we have going, but technically that foots the bill of a buy signal. Now, the only thing here is we're a little closer to the take profit on ONDO daily chart than others. This one's going to come in here right at resistance around roughly $1.23. This is going to be a very significant level to keep an eye on. We need above this zone to be bullish once again. If we can, all of a sudden we're looking back at 140, we're looking at 162, we're looking up here at 186. Those are going to be the next couple of big marks on the way up for ONDO. Just like Chainlink, ONDO is in its own falling channel. If you guys are wondering what falling channels are, this is stuff we teach in our Broz Academy. This is a new resource we started a couple of months ago where we're teaching our Super Bros members, and soon we're going to have a course video out that a lot of people can purchase or become members to get access to. We're teaching you the beginning steps of everything you need to know about technical analysis. So if I'm talking about you, and you're saying, man, I watch the charts every single day, but I need to learn how to read them for myself, you're absolutely going to check out the Broz Academy. The falling channel is a parallel or close to parallel resistance and support level. And it oftentimes, even though it's moving to the downside, putting in lower highs and lower lows, it's a consolidation of a move that psychologically is preparing for a bigger push to the upside. By taking the opening momentum of the formation and moving over to the imagined breakout, this prediction would say ONDO is going to want to make its move once we get this bullish breakout and sentiment above $1.30. It's going to want to make its way all the way back up towards $2. We won't get the confirmation until we break and close multiple daily candles above this red line. But once that happens, you're looking at a trade set up pretty nicely back up above $2 here for ONDO. That's only the beginning. Of course, I do believe it's going to keep going up and up and up from there. Just like Chainlink, just like Bitcoin, we're still continuing to put in these macro higher highs and higher lows. Let's check on that divergence as well, though. Sure enough, boom, we're getting that same daily divergence, just like we are with Bitcoin and Chainlink. Take a look here. Lower low coming in on the oscillators, but higher low coming in price action. Guess what? That's that continued bullish divergence. It's a great sign that the bull run is still in play. That's what's happening right now in the world of crypto. Bitcoin, Chainlink, ONDO, many others are experiencing what looks like long-term bottom signals. Can they hold? Well, that's going to come down to watching the charts and watching the news over the next couple of days. With that said, let's get into chat here and engage for a couple of minutes and see what is on your guys' mind. We have over 1,500 people watching here on YouTube, another 250 over on X. Make sure to smash that like button right now. In fact, I'm going to check the likes on YouTube. If we're close to 500, we might do that live trade now. Ooh, 330. All right, if you want to see a live trade, get us over 500, and maybe we'll have time at the end of the show. We might not because of our interview, but smash that like button right now, everybody, if you are excited about this content. Shroom, anything you're seeing in chat, any questions you want to take a look at? I see a couple coins people are asking about, but anything you're seeing that's sticking out to you?
Well, not in chat, but we do have some breaking news here. This is who's attending. This is the who's who. Originally, I was going to show you all. Eleanor Tourette has been compiling a list But actually, we've got something from Cointelegraph has put out their own list. Michael Saylor, David Bailey of Bitcoin Magazine, Matt Huang of Paradigm, JP Richardson of Exodus, and Brian Armstrong, Sergey Nazarov, Zach Witkoff. Let's see, Kraken, Robinhood, Coinbase, Ripple, the ones that are unconfirmed. So this is kind of the intriguing part. Kathy Woods, unconfirmed. Vitalik Buterin, unconfirmed.
Yeah.
As well as Jeremy Allrare of Circle and Charles Hoskinson and Anatoly Y of Solana and Mark Andreessen, all unconfirmed as of now. But there's also some White House folks who are unconfirmed too. But these are the ones that are on the confirmed list. Are you seeing anything in chat there, Tim?
Yeah, I see a couple things here. First of all, Jesus is Lord is back in chat today, and I think he might have had to drop out yesterday. He's asking for WIF TA. Jesus is Lord, we did WIF TA at the end of yesterday's show, so go back and watch that one. I'm not going to do that again today, but maybe in the next couple of weeks, we'll take a look at WIF again. Bad news, though, Jesus is Lord. It wasn't a good-looking chart. WIF is one of the memes that's just sustained the lower highs and lower lows back since March of last year, right? So we're coming up on a whole year of lower highs and lower lows. That's not the greatest looking chart. But if it gets a pop-up, I'm not saying there's not trades in it. You can't see a little bit of a move to the upside if we see the rest of crypto really start to jump up. But yeah, not one that I'm looking at a long-term investment in. Keep your eyes, T-Show, on some others here in chat. But here's a good question from NCR Legend. He's been in here. I think I see him in here daily. So NCR Legend, shout out to you. Always love to see the returning viewers. Let's go ahead and see. He said, Tim, when can you say the bull run is back? And here's the keyword, comfortably. Right, so a lot of the analysis we just did on the show with Bitcoin and Chainlink and ONDO, we looked at recent lows, and I showed you, let's go back kind of roughly through this, and I'll explain what I'm looking at. Right, before I can say the bull run is back on comfortably, what I'm going to start with is the evidence that the bottom is in, right? You're always going to start with, is the bottom in, and then we can talk about when is the bull run comfortably back. When you see the things like these massive lower wick candles, what's called, this one right here is called a bullish hammer. This one, I can't remember the exact name of it. It's going to be in the world of almost a doji, but it's too thick of a candle there. What you're looking at here, this candle might not have an official name, but the long lower wick with the bullish candle to the upside and the higher volume, that's a very bullish candle. I showed you on Chainlink and ONDO, the continuation bullish divergence, where if you go back to November and you look at the price action, we're clearly putting in higher lows in price action, but at the same time, the RSI and a lot of the oscillators are putting in lower lows. This is continuation bullish divergence. So you start there and you say, all right, we have evidence, we have indicators, we have good-looking signs that this is a local bottom. Doesn't necessarily guarantee the bullish run. It just says this for now, we've stopped the bleeding, right? This sustained bounce to the upside was expected based on these moves. There's going to be two things I'm looking for, but you asked comfortably. So that's going to be the key thing here. When I look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin is the leading indicator of cryptocurrency. And until I see the Bitcoin dominance chart plummet back below 60%, you're going to just always be watching Bitcoin, right? If you know what's happening on Bitcoin, you probably have a good understanding of what's happening in the rest of the crypto space as well, okay? When Bitcoin dominance plummets, gets back below 60%, and an altcoin season begins to appear, then you're going to want to take a look at specific altcoins individually, and they might be telling different stories. But for now, Bitcoin is king. So I look at the Bitcoin chart, and I just told you, even though we're seeing all these bottom signals, we haven't put in a higher low yet. We still have seen lower lows. So the bottom signal looks good. I really like it. However, can we break back above this red line? Can we get back up here? Some people are going to say, Tim, are we setting higher highs? We get back above 95,000? No. This was the bottom. This is all one sustained move. I know it's volatile. I know if I go to a small time frame, we saw big volatility, but on the longer time frames, this is all part of one sustained move that we are still putting in lower highs. To get an official higher high on the daily chart, again, high right here, 109,000, lower high, 106,000, lower high, 99,500. Now we're working on, do we set another lower high around 95, 96, or do we break back above 99.5? Or in other words, I really just think we need to get back above 100,000. get back above 100,000, get back up above this high, sit back in February, and now I'm feeling very good about the bull run being back, right? I have the bottom in. I need to see this higher high to feel good. But you just said the word comfortable, and comfortable is going to be different for everybody. I like the word good. I like the good feeling of being back above 100,000. To me, I would say with high certainty, we're very close to seeing new all-time highs. To be comfortable, I want to see us get back above this wick right here at 109,200. And you're going to say, Tim, of course you'd be comfortable once we see a new all-time high. But guess what? That's the market we're in right now. We are in a manipulated back and forth market. The probabilities start to increase with a good-looking, bottom position right here. And then if we get back above this red line, that's a good look right there. If we get above 100,000, the probabilities of a bull market continue to climb, but they're not 100%. The only time I will be comfortable is when I 100% know an all-time high is in, and that won't come until we're actually setting new all-time highs. With that said, what you're going to keep an eye on from a more macro perspective, you can look at this. From a micro perspective, you can look at this. But Fibonacci-wise, right now, we're kind of wrestling with that golden pocket area, right? 96,000 is to be the golden pocket area. We need to clear that. We need to get back up here above 102 in the platinum pocket. If we can get back to new all-time highs, 109 and so on and so forth, well, the 1.27 is going to be coming in at 120. If we break to new highs, I feel very good about the next move up to 120. After that, I feel very good about a move up to 135 and then up to 150 and then up to 170, right? These Fibonacci extensions are going to be very, very important, even on the more micro timelines. On the larger time frames, like the weekly chart, people have been using this for hypothesizing where certain tops will be. Go back to the all-time high from back in 2021, go to the low of 2022. This 1.27, guess where it came in at? 105.7. Right, we went a little bit above that, but from a macro perspective, that was a pretty good indicator of a local top, was it not? We pretty much double topped there in March, went a little higher, but kind of double topped there. The next level up, if we break to the upside from a more macro perspective, we're looking at 179, 180 as the next stop on the macro perspective of Bitcoin. Then, again, I'm not saying we have to jump all the way up there. We could make a stop here at 200, 220, but there's a lot of reasons to suspect a 2 on this level. If we can sustain heavily above 180, you very well might be looking at a $300,000 Bitcoin. Does that happen by September, October of 2025? No, right? If we're going to see a Bitcoin 300,000 before the next bear market, and some of you guys are still bearish right now, so you guys just give it a rest for a second. I'm talking to people who are asking the genuine question. Tim, is 300,000 possible in this bull market? The answer is yes, it is possible. It will not happen anytime soon. Soon is in the end of 2025. Heck, I don't even know if it happens by the end of 2026. But what you need to prepare yourself for is there's a potential chance this bull market is manipulated, is crazy, is slow, is dragged out, and it lasts for multiple years. 4-year cycle is over, in my opinion. I know some people still hold to it. I don't. I believe the 4-year cycle is over. I believe that now we will have way more manipulated movements from the stock market, manipulated moves from institutions, and longer bull markets and weirder and scarier looking bear markets. That's what we're strapping in for right now. So when can I be comfortable? I'll be comfortable when we're back above 109,000. When do I think the bull market is back and I'll feel good about it? Let's get back over 100,000 and I will be extremely, extremely bullish. More bullish than I am even right now in the short term. So that's where we're going to wrap up our questions here for a second. We do have our guest in chat. We want to go ahead and bring him on up. Kyle, what is going on, my friend? How are you doing today?
Good. I'm doing good. I appreciate you having me on the channel. How are you guys doing?
Great.
Doing very, very good. Doing very good. We're so excited to get you in with the Broz community. You know, we had a meeting, yesterday, I guess, to kind of finalize and officially get this. We were telling our community, you know, sponsors are a part of the game. If you guys love me and T-Shroom being here every single day, if you love Smay being on the channel, we have other people like Crux and others that work behind the scenes to make sure we have one of the best communities in the space. But we all have to pay bills. We all have to make sure we're doing things correctly. So sponsors are very important to the Broz community, but making sure we find the right ones, that's the most important thing for us. If we don't ourselves believe in a sponsor and what they're trying to do with their company, they're never going to make it on this channel. But when I met with Kyle the other day, I not only am so glad that he's partnering with our channel, the investment opportunity that he's presenting that he wants to get some of you guys involved with, T. Shroom and I are like, when can we sign up? Like, I want to get in this right now. Like, I love crypto, and crypto is going to make me a lot of money, but diversification of your investments is very, very smart. And this is, I think, a phenomenal way to do that using Limits Express. But tell us a little bit more, Kyle, as we kind of get in here. Tell us about yourself, who you are, what you're doing, what this company is, and what makes it so special.
Yeah, absolutely. What I'll do is kind of run through just a brief overview of the business model, and then kind of explain where, and why we bring on clients in the first place, and kind of where everybody ties into it. So what we do is Amazon FBA and Walmart WFS. So what we're doing is we're buying products like Colgate toothpaste, Aquafresh mouthwash, Dove soap, Dove deodorant. We get those products into our warehouse. We have to package and prep all those units how they need to be sent into Amazon or sent into Walmart. So we may get Colgate toothpaste in as a pack of 1 from one of our suppliers, but we might sell it on a listing on Amazon or Walmart as a pack of 3 or a pack of 4 on there. So we got to polybag those, put our labels over the existing barcodes, and then we send all that inventory off to Amazon and Walmart. Once it reaches those platforms, they handle all the logistics. That's what the FBA and the WFS stands for. For Amazon, the FBA is fulfillment by Amazon. Walmart is Walmart Fulfillment Services, where they handle all the logistics and the shipping to each individual customer on there. So for us, we don't have to run any advertising or marketing on the listings that we're selling on, because we are selling big brand name products. All that traffic and all those sales are already there on those listings, and they're getting thousands of sales no matter what, whether that's coming from us, another seller, whoever it is, it's going to be selling thousands of times a month regardless. So for us, it's just up to us. Can we get those products, those big brand name products, at a cheap enough price so that we can take up the most amount of those sales on the listings and also sell it for the best possible ROI? So that's really where, our clients come in and tie into all this. In order for us to get access to extremely cheap pricing, when we first started out placing a $30,000 or a $40,000 or a $50,000 purchase order with the suppliers we're working with, they won't even pick up the phone at that point, and they definitely won't negotiate down on their pricing. When you're placing that size of an order, they're not gonna, they're just gonna send you to their website or catalog pricing, which a lot of the time there isn't much margin in that at all. Whereas now that we have over 160 clients on with us, they all send in the funding for the inventory. That allows us to build that up, have access to a much larger buying power, go place one big purchase order, get access to extremely cheap pricing, those bulk discount pricing. And then we split those units up, send them in on everyone's store. And then once we sell through on there, we split the profit made on the store. This way we can't profit unless the client does.
Yeah, and I want to get into some details here. I see some people in chat. By the way, guys, whenever you guys have questions for Kyle, let them know in chat. T-Shim and I are watching. We want to help answer some questions. Some people are saying, hey, what is this? Like, what's going on here? This is an amazing investment opportunity that caught the eye of T-Shim and myself, and we want to let you guys know about it. But I want to jump to the question everyone's going to have. Whenever you hear investment opportunity, right, we can get in the details. I have more questions about the details. I'm sure T-Shim does as well. Let's cut to the chase, though. Like, what is my expected return? If I invest, let's say, $10,000 into this, what should I be reasonably expecting as a return on that investment?
Yeah, so first, I think the most important part is covering the time frame on how quickly you're going to be receiving that return. All of our returns are based off a quarterly ROI. The reason being is that the time it takes for a full inventory cycle to complete. And what that means is from the time that you send in funding for inventory and the time it takes us to package and prep all those units, get them into our warehouse, get them into Amazon and Walmart, and then actually sell through all those units. So on average, it's about a quarterly return. So it takes about 60 to 90 days to turn that over. If you were to send in $10,000 before you sell through that 10K worth inventory and get that 10K back in your bank account with the profit on top of that. But our clients right now are averaging a 14% quarterly return. It does matter which package you're on. We do have 2 separate packages. One of them is geared towards some of our bigger investors that are spending more on that inventory, want to take a bigger split from the store. So of course they do get a better return, but all of our clients on average a 14% quarterly ROI.
Gotcha. I've got
a question.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so you all handle everything. You do all the work once the actual stores are set up, which is an easy process to get those stores set up. But do you do all the work that you do for free?
No, yeah. So we do charge upfront service fees that are a necessity to run and operate the business. It is an expensive model to run. So all that upfront service fee, that's going to be going towards 3 years of covering all the overhead to run the store. So whether it's the employees that are packaging and prepping the units in our warehouse, our employees that are finding new wholesalers, negotiating those orders, divvying up those products, managing in charge of managing the entire account, and then also there's yearly softwares that we need to buy subscriptions to. So there's a lot of upfront costs that come with it. But again, we charge, especially with other competitors in the space, a pretty low service fee to get started. And we're really looking to scale up, making the profit through the profit split that we share with the client on the store.
Yeah. Yeah, I see some questions here in chat. Now, this is going to be the constant question people ask. Kyle, I'm assuming you get questions like this all the time when people are looking at it. I laughed when I saw this question from Kyle Fields, because my mom grew up doing things like Mary Kay, or there was this other drink, this like holistic drink that we did, and we ended up just buying a bunch of drinks. We were supposed to sell them to other people. It didn't work. He says, I like to ask, how isn't this a Mary Kay presentation, right? That's me the question whenever you see things like this. Some people are familiar with like pyramid schemes and different things. They're going to be very questionable about this, like what's going on here. How do you, when you get these types of questions, how do you help reassure some people? This is very different than some of those things. Like this isn't you sign up and then try to get your friends to sign up and then you make money when your friends sign up. Like what is going on with this business model? And maybe even show us on the screen like what this looks like and why it's such a normal thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, in order for us to be making profit off of this, the client has to be making profit as well. If we're taking a profit split from the store, if there is no profit in the store, then we're not making anything either. So we're highly incentivized to get the best results possible. And yeah, I mean, in terms of the products that we're selling, again, they're big brand name products that are already generating thousands of sales every single month on Amazon and on Walmart. And if in order for us to get access to extremely cheap pricing to go and sell those for the best possible ROI, you need to have access to a very large buying power to work with these suppliers. That's why we're bringing on clients. And as we continue to bring on more and more clients, we just get access to better and better pricing and better deals, and we move further and further up that supply chain and work closer to the manufacturer. So yeah, I can definitely pull up on my screen what a listing would look like on Amazon and on Walmart, when you're actually selling on there. So, a lot of people kind of get the misconception that you'd be, creating your own storefront where, these customers would be going to your storefront to be purchasing and looking through all your inventory. It's not the case. Like I said, we're just sending in inventory on pre-existing listings that are already generating thousands of sales. So with this listing, for example, you can see this Coast Bath Bar right here, the 3-pack, it's selling 900 times a month. It's going to get those sales regardless, again, whether that's coming from us or somebody else. And what you can see down here, this is a software that we use to track our profitability, but also to see the other stock levels on the listing. And what you'll be able to see, these are all different sellers that have sent in inventory on this listing. So you can see their stock levels here. You can see the price that they're set at. And whoever's at that cheapest price, what you can see right here at $8.20, is going to win the buy box, is what it's called. And all that means is if you're a shopper on Amazon, you're looking to purchase this product, you're going to type that in a search bar, you're going to click on this listing, and you're going to scroll down here, and you're going to be clicking on, add to cart or buy now. You can see it ships from Amazon, but it's sold by BD Supply right here. And this is where your actual store name would come in. And when you're the one that's winning the buy box, winning those sales right here. And that's what you can see right up here, this seller, BD Supply. So you'd show up as a seller just like this on here. And it's the same concept on Walmart. You'll be able to see the same things over here, where if you scroll down on this listing, it's not actually Walmart that's selling it. You'll be able to see it is fulfilled by Walmart, but it's sold by Sunbeams right here. So, you're able to see the third-party sellers that are selling the inventory on these platforms, which not a lot of people know, right away. They think it's actually being sold by Walmart or Amazon.
Got it.
Very interesting.
We've got a good question here.
Questions from you? Yeah.
Good question here from Soccer World. Why do they need us? Why, Kyle, why are you interested in getting Limited Express brand out there in front of a retail audience like this?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, selfishly, right? If we didn't need to bring in clients, we wouldn't. If we had the capital to be spending, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million every single month on inventory, we would. And it is what you need to get access to the pricing that we're getting access to. So, if we were just running this for ourselves, we'd be able to keep 100% of the profit, absolutely. But we would be working off, very, very thin margins. You're talking about getting a 2, 3, 4% ROI, maybe that. Whereas instead, we can bring on a bunch of clients, pool their money together, and go out and place much larger purchase orders, get access to way cheaper pricing. And then even though we have to take a split from the store and cut off that split, we're still able to get a much, much better ROI. As you can see, our clients average after the split, after everything, a 14% ROI. So, that it's much better to be taking a higher percentage ROI off of, $1 million or $2 million a month worth of spend than, if we were just doing it ourselves, spending 50 or 75 or $100,000 a month.
Very
Gotcha.
cool.
Gotcha. I had a question. I'm not seeing it asked here in the chat, but look, I get ads for what some people are calling retail arbitrage. There's a couple of different ways to, I just suppose I describe, but you're essentially Amazon and Walmart automation FBA. So what makes you different from the ads that I get on YouTube, on Instagram, of people, claiming pretty good outsized gains? Why is Limited Express different from all those guys?
Yeah, I honestly, I think it just comes down to, the price point that we're at, but then also the transparency. So, again, like I said, our price point is very, very low. Our starting costs are either a $5,000 service fee or a $10,000 service fee. And if you, shop around the different people in the space, you're looking at, a $25,000, $50,000, $75,000 service fee. So again, we try to charge just enough that we need, again, to cover the overhead, because it is an expensive model and we have to charge something to cover those overhead costs when we're running the store. But, we try to make sure that it's as low as it can be. So again, we're performance based, and we want, trying to make our profit through the profit split made from the store, so that our client has to win in order for us to win. But then also, like I said, transparency. You're able to go check out our YouTube channel. We have a bunch of client results on there that we share and show all the time, as well as our FTC disclosure documents, which I know we were, talking about that earlier. But those are documents that really all these companies are required to provide by the Federal Trade Commission, just to, show that the numbers that I'm talking about when I talk about a 14% average quarterly return, that is actually, real data pulled from our client base, not just numbers I'm pulling out of thin air. So, even if anyone was to go with a different automation company, I just advise them to make sure that they are taking a look at those documents first, so they can actually see what the real numbers are. Because, without them, anybody can say that the returns are whatever they want to say that they are. And then also, we like to invite all onboarding clients to come actually visit the warehouse, to meet me, meet the rest of our team, see the products you'll be selling on, the operations there. So, we're located in central Massachusetts, about an hour and a half outside of Boston. Obviously, it's much easier for people that are right around the area, but, we've definitely had clients come visit from whether, Utah, California, Texas, different places. So again, the invitation's always open, and we really encourage people to actually come out and visit, just because once you do get signed on and you're in the group chat with our team and we're telling you, we just got your inventory checked in, or it's being ready to be packaged and prepped and sent off to Amazon or Walmart, you also have a really, a better idea of what that all means and what that process really looks like.
We get one more question here from chat, and Kyle has two different ones. But Kyle Fields, by the way, Kyle Fields asking Kyle here how it goes. After this, though, if you guys do want to know anything else about this business, some of you don't care, and I get that. And we're going to talk crypto here in just a couple of minutes. Thank you for bearing with us. But again, we wanted to bring to you guys this awesome opportunity. T. Shum and I, in case anyone's wondering, T. Shum and I are participating in this as well. Not a scam, not anything crazy here. This is actually really cool stuff. But this is a question I had the other day. Like, I would not take this deal until I understood the answer to this question as well. So Kyle Fields with a very good question here, two-parters. How sustainable is the 14% return, and how long has it performed that way, right? That's the first part of this question. He explained it also, said, can you explain a situation where investors lose? What's at risk? What happens when a hot-selling item cools off? This is the exact question I asked you yesterday morning, Kyle. I told T-Shroom, we cannot do this deal until I get a better understanding of how this works. Could you explain it to people? How sure is that 14%? And what does it look like on an individual basis?
Yeah, so like we were talking about before, we've been in the e-commerce space for about 6-7 years now. But in terms of just bringing on clients for the automation and running this model, a little over 2.5 years now. And we definitely didn't start at that 14% ROI. that we're getting on average right now, just because, again, the less, spending power that we had, the worse the ROI. And that 14%, we do plan on increasing that. Again, as we bring on more clients, pull together more capital, we plan on that to go up. But we've been averaging that 14% ROI for the past about 9 months now. And that's something you'll be able to see on our FTC disclosure form. So again, we plan on that to go up, not down. And, asking about the sustainability of it, again, we're not so much on hot sellers. We don't focus on seasonal selling products or anything like that, because those can, have, it can be selling 10,000 times a month, obviously during the good seasons, and then drop off a cliff after that. That's why we do focus on those consumer staples, mouthwash, toothpaste, deodorant, floss, shampoo, conditioner. That's something that we were also talking about, if we, God forbid, we were to enter into any type of recession or anything like that. They're recession-proof products that we're selling on. So, it's going to get those sales, and people are going to be ordering these products no matter what. So it's not really a case where sales drop off or anything like that. But to also answer the question about, risks that are involved and what happens if you're not able to sell through the inventory. If we're not selling any inventory, that means somebody else is winning those sales, because like I said, it's always getting sales on those listings. If we're not at the cheapest price, somebody else can be winning those sales over us. At any point, if we drop the price to the lowest price, we're going to start winning those sales. But obviously, the goal is to sell it for the best possible ROI. So dropping that price down, we could be hurting that ROI. And sometimes there are cases where we do have to liquidate inventory, and we have to sell it at, a break even or a 2 or 3% ROI, just to get rid of that, inventory and get that capital back to spend it on more profitable inventory. So it's something that's definitely part of the business model that is already factored into that 14% ROI, having to liquidate that inventory. But it's also why we don't just put our clients on one product and have them sell on one. They're going to be selling on 10, 15, 20, 25 different products. So that if one product we did have to liquidate and sell for break even, or even a little bit of a loss, those other products are going to make up for that. And that's why, again, that you're still going to average that 14% ROI, even having to sell a product here and there, at break even or a little bit of a loss.
Very cool. Well, Kyle, thank you so much for coming on today and explaining a little bit about your business. And again, to everybody else listening, we want to say a special thank you to Kyle and Limits Express. They are partnering with the channel so that we continue to come in. I know some of you guys don't care about this, and that's completely okay. Do you guys care about crypto? Do you guys care about making money? It's people like Kyle and Limits Express that allow me and T-Shroom and Smay to come on here every single day and not have full-time jobs elsewhere to bring you guys all the alpha, the TA, the news. So I wanted to say, from me and T-Shroom for sure, and the rest of our community, Kyle, thank you so much for partnering with us. Thank you for bringing this opportunity. Once again, some of you don't care. Some of you do care. If you want to know more about how to get involved with what Kyle's talking about here with Limits Express, we will hold another private webinar later on to be announced where you can come in and ask more questions, find out more details. This is an amazing opportunity to diversify your hard-earned cash to protect your long-term investments. Kyle is going to be a part of that solution. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you again soon, Kyle.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you having me on.
All right, guys, it is 4:02. I saw a lot of people in chat asking about crypto. I want you guys to know, genuinely, I really am excited about this. Just so you know, we're talking about AVAX here in a second. AVAX is going up. Bitcoin, while we were speaking, was climbing up. The name of our channel is Investing Bros, not Crypto Bros, not Stock Market Bros, not Chart Bros, not Trading Bros, Investing Bros. And while we specialize in crypto, just like the rest of you, I would think you want to make money. You want to create generational wealth. You want to change your life and your family's lives forever. Right now, crypto is an amazing opportunity to do that. But in the future, there's going to be lots of ways. In the future, this channel is going to talk about how you can invest wisely in crypto, in the stock market, but in the real estate world. How do you invest in businesses to make more money? And something like this, something with the opportunity with a very safe 14% quarterly return. Is that as flashy as maybe a crypto that doubles overnight, or over a bull market, we can 10x our money on a coin like Chainlink or something? Yeah, it's not going to be as fast or as sexy. But as you get into the big boy money, as you start to create generational wealth, protecting and diversifying that wealth is going to be very important. And I truly believe that Limits Express is an amazing way. I'm not saying take your entire investment and put it over there. Take a small portion and protect and keep growing your investments long term. That being said, you guys want to talk crypto? Let's talk crypto before we wrap it out today. Like I said, Bitcoin temporarily while we were live here, go to my screen here, Smay, did shoot back up over 90,000. I think I saw 90,500 there, 90,600. So we're wrestling right there with that lower end of this former support zone that we're working on breaking so it doesn't stay resistance. But AVAX is having a nice little day over the last couple of hours. It's up 8%, not quite as high as Chainlink or ONDO, but definitely popping back up. AVAX, just so you guys know, is on my, I hold AVAX still, and it's on my optimistic, and yet I'm not going to ignore the negativities side of it, right? I think AVAX is a coin that could make its way onto that list of cryptocurrencies that will be put into a strategic reserve. What I don't like is the lower high. If you guys have watched me before, I've talked about this several times. Coins that put in lower highs in December, lower than what we had back in March, that's not a great thing. The good news for AVAX is it is slightly putting in a higher low here, although yesterday we did dip below this trend line, so this trend line now has to change, right? We have to now update it. It's a very slight higher low there. But it is a good sign, right, that we still are above the lows we had from August last year. This is not as strong as a nice bottom signal here on the daily chart. While I loved this coin, or this candle right here, high volume, large lower wick, this is a bullish hammer. We've now gone below it, and we don't really have that second really strong daily bottom signal. What I'm curious to see here, let's take a look. Candle closes. You're going to have to take a look here. You're looking at candle closes when you're looking at divergence. Slight higher high from where we closed yesterday. It's too soon to call this for certain, but if we start to sustain movements, if we can get AVAX to jump back up and get into this fair value gap somewhere back around $30, confirming this is a bottom move here, I am going to imagine this is going to be bullish divergence. You know, the truth is, it's going to be bullish divergence on a long time frame. Here's a little bit of good news on the shorter time frame, though. Even here on the daily chart, look at how we've been putting in these lower lows in price action. I'm going to change this from green to red. I'm tired of the green lines here. And I just deleted it. Of course I did. There we go. Let's do this again. There we go. Red line. Lower lows in price action. At the same time, though, when I take a look at the RSI, we're seeing higher lows. This is actually strong reversal bullish divergence on the shorter time frames. Now, it is something to be aware of. We're also putting in higher highs and lower highs, so we technically have both bullish and bearish divergence in play right here. But whenever you're in a downtrend, I always give the advantage when you see two different forms of divergence. I give the advantage to the opposite of the trend, a reversal coming in. So there are some signs on the table right now from the charts perspective for AVAX that we could have found a bottom with yesterday's dip back down here towards 1893. But again, that dip, unlike Chainlink and ONDO, right? These ones have put in higher lows substantially, higher highs substantially over time. Bitcoin, of course, has done that as well. AVAX, I want to see it sustain bigger moves to feel better about it. Someone's going to say, Tim, well, what about AVAX? When will you feel comfortable being bullish on AVAX again? By the way, I like AVAX still. I still hold AVAX. I still think AVAX is going to make its way at least up above $100. I used to think AVAX, though, could realistically make it over 200 and push towards 400. Now I'm kind of saying I think $100 to $200 target for AVAX is the more realistic target. If we explode, I would love to be wrong. I would love to be bearish on AVAX, and it ends up going way higher than I thought. But I want to see it sustain. Let's get back starting. A good move, get back up here above $27, get back above these highs from these low wicks. After that, you want to sustain a move back above 45. Again, going to that lower high right there. And then, of course, we need to break the structure of lower highs being put in since March back here. That's going to be something that's very, very important. We're close to getting, or actually, no, okay, we do have a daily buy signal here on AVAX and LuxLago, green reversal. A lot of bullish momentum's coming in here, but finally sustained bullish momentum on that money flow. What's the target here for AVAX on the short term? It's not going to get us into the camp of where we need to be to get confirmation of all these moves, but we're probably looking at a move back up towards 26. Realistically, if we can break above 27, and that's a big moment right there, all of a sudden we're going to see more resistance levels. A big one coming in here around $37, and then more appear on 42 before we keep breaking to the upside. But short time frames and shorter moves, I like what AVAX is doing, and I want to get back on the long-term gravy train with AVAX. But for right now, again, there's a reason why this coin was a top 10 coin. It's fallen now to number 16. It's not even the number one real-world asset token anymore. Both Chainlink and Hedera have both passed it. I also see in this bull market, I could easily see ONDO, who's currently at number 31, passing AVAX. Doesn't mean we can't make money. Doesn't mean AVAX can't have a market cap by the time it's all said and done somewhere in the world of definitely over 50 billion, but maybe pushing towards 100. That can definitely still happen. I just think that it's got a little bit tougher of a road when you're looking at the recent power dynamics to make that happen. With that said, again, I still hold it. I still like it. But I'm just being realistic with you what I'm seeing in the charts on this coin here. So, T-Shroom, before we let everybody go today, no factoid of the day today. We will be back tomorrow with a normal show with a factoid of the day, talking all crypto. But any thoughts for you before we go?
You've been losing the factoid a little too much, huh? We ain't going to do it today. I get it.
Just not today. Not today.
Redline said, I disagree. AVAX was a better chart showing the reduced momentum that the hype up coins aren't showing. AVAX told me we're going down for this last capitulation before we went any higher than 110K. I think that's a good point. AVAX is kind of like the no hype solid coin that just makes the direction of where, non-hype attracted investors put their money. I think that's an interesting and accurate way to look at AVAX, Redline.
It's interesting. Here's what I would say. And again, we're running a little long here, but we'll keep going. I understand people saying ONDO. If you share my screen, I understand people saying ONDO's been a hype coin, right? ONDO's a newer coin. I understand people saying Sui's a hype coin, right? A lot of excitement with Sui, which, by the way, so funny. I saw comments earlier today saying that Sui is now out. Sui's finished. I'm like, okay, it's a little soon to be saying Sui is finished. This is a very bullish looking chart. I understand calling those hype coins, right? I don't think we would call, other than unless you just want to say I hype it up, right? Tim Warren hypes up Chainlink. Chainlink wasn't a hype coin. It put in a higher high here. Cardano really hasn't had major hype until more recently here, right? As we are deciding that Cardano is surprising some people, is going to be on the crypto street reserve. It put in a higher high. Solana, you can say, is hype from the meme coins. Ethereum, well, there's been no hype with Ethereum, and it has put in a lower low since back here, but Ethereum technically in December put in a higher high than March. So I understand Redline, and I want to make very clear here, I am still bullish on AVAX. I still own AVAX. I'm just saying that lower high was a sign of weakness, that other things are more desirable. Things could change. Fundamentals could change. We could hear about a new partnership where all of a sudden we could hear someone, God forbid, I don't think it's going to happen, but we could see someone be like, you know what? Forget Chainlink. We don't want to use Chainlink anymore. We like what AVAX has going on over there. If that happened, all right, let's rewrite the charts. Let's redo the predictions. But I just don't see that happening. I saw a statement in the real world asset space. I watched Chainlink put in a higher high. I watched ONDO put in a higher high. I watched HBAR put in a higher high. I watched a lot of other real world asset plays put in higher highs. I did not see AVAX do it. And for that reason, it just gives me caution to say, you know what? My original prediction that it would maintain still around a top 10 level status, that it would probably be in the world of $150 to $200 billion market cap by the end of this bull market, that is what has changed. I now see it realistically being more like a low-end 50 billion, high-end 100 billion, but that brings the price predictions down. Still good prices, still looking somewhere in that world of 100, maybe all the way up to $200 per coin. Just not the 200 to 400 like we predicted about a year ago or so. So with that said, though, guys, that is going to wrap up today's show. Thank you to everyone who stuck around till the very end. On your way out, we didn't get to 500 by the midway part, so no live trade today, but tomorrow we will be back and you'll have another shot. We'll talk a lot of crypto. Maybe we'll set up a live trade on the show. Of course, T-Shroom is not going to be here for the rest of the weekend as he is going to see his friend down in Tampa, but me and Smay are going to keep the show going. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Adios.